So, welcome to the call, guys. This is Damon Nelson and my partner, Wayne Atkinson, on the call.
Hi, everyone.
And today we are talking about travel guides. This is a Geek Out Friday session. So, it we try to have a structure with it, but for most time, we're going to do kind of the overview, then we'll do the demo, and we'll take questions. But today it's a little bit different, and I hope you appreciate what we're going to do today, or what we're going to try to do within an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And I have to apologize. I've traveled this week and to the SEO conference, and I think I picked up allergies or something. So I may be coughing or clearing my throat throughout the call, and Wayne may have to take over near the end. Okay, so here we go. We are talking travel guides and how to write a travel guide, why you may even need one. So stay to the end. I promise you, you're going to see some new features that we've added this week that will blow your socks off. And I think we're going to have a new feature probably by Monday or Tuesday that comes out as well. So here we go. So I put little quotes in here, just to spice this up. But one's destination is never a place. It's a new way of seeing things. This is by Henry Miller. So what is the purpose of a travel guide? Before we start writing a travel guide, what are we trying to accomplish? Well, we want to provide helpful information. That's number one with writing books or content or anything. We want to establish expertise and build brand. Now, guys, this part is what we're really trying to establish with these AI books. We want Google to know you're an author. Somebody said they have no sound. I think we're good on sound and maybe a speaker issue.
Yeah, I think people can hear us.
Okay. So as you start developing out your content sites, more importantly, as you're trying to get helpful content and establish authority, the expertise and authority in a subject matter, there is no better way to establish authority than have a book with your name on it. Either paperback, a Kindle, or a book that you sell, or a book that you've chopped up. And you can do all that with these travel guides or with these books that we're writing with AI. Okay. You want to introduce readers to new destinations and cultures. And on travel guides, the thing that we always realize that I see when I pick up a travel book of Frommer's or anything like that is I want to know what to do in the city, but I also want to know the best restaurants, kind of the price ranges on restaurants, or I want to know things that we can do for the kids. So there's different ways to write a book, and there's different ways that you can add to your book to kind of enhance the value of the book itself. Every exit is an entry somewhere else. I love this quote. Okay, so today's objective, we're going to learn how to build a travel guide with AIMasher. We're going to talk a little bit about topic prompts and outline generation tips. And number three, we're going to talk about the book building process. Image generations, you're sending to DocX for final edits. And a couple of things I did learn this past weekend is Microsoft Copilot. If you're not familiar, it's basically OpenAI's Chat GPT. They integrate with Word. So you can actually have chat inside of your Word document, which is good if you're doing writing and rewriting inside of Microsoft Word, which that's between that and Google Docs, it's a trade-off. But I do like to have in my writer, in my editor, I do like to have an AI tool that can do a lot of different things. In addition to tuning up the paragraphs, I want it to write new content, shorten the content, or improve the content, and I want it to add images. So I'm kind of giving you a teaser, stay to the end for this. Okay. The topic idea of the book. Use Chat GPT or other AI chat tools to get some topic ideas. Research Amazon for ideas. That's another way for idea categories, or using KDP Rocket. Now, I've bought KDP Rocket. It's called Publisher Rocket now. And I'll give you a link at the end of the call, but this is what I kind of use to get an idea for what there's thousands of cookbooks, there's thousands of travel guides. But if I want to sell travel guides, I want to be in a competitive keyword for the title and for the topic that I don't have as many competitors and that we still have book sales. And I want to be in an area that I can get some reviews. Amazon books are driven by reviews. So if you if you're trying to be competitive selling books, you need some additional tools. This is not the mastermind to teach you all the tools or all the strategies for marketing and promoting books. I'm definitely not the expert here. So I'm following along with a lot of training that I've taken on books. And we're going to later this summer, I've got two people that I'm going to bring in as guest speakers on Geek Out Friday, and all they're going to be talking about are Kindle books. So before they come on, I want you to have the ability to generate your own books and to edit your own books and to publish them, to go through the process of practicing putting your books online before you hear how do you promote this? How do you, in fact, hopefully I can get one person in here that knows how to hack the review process. So it's very exciting about Kindle books. You got to look at it as one way, two ways. Kindle and any type of book, yes, you want to make money, you want to make revenue, but the other is you want to support your author, your minion, your bio, whoever is publishing content, you want to support them with expertise. Expertise is the book. Okay. So 2 reasons for creating books. You want an outline. You want a very good outline, and you want to be able to shape the outline so that the book is kind of written in a format that you would want to read, but you don't want to just start writing from scratch without some type of outline what you're going to be including. Okay. Once you're happy with the outline, then you press the button and we start writing the chapters. Very easy to do. Final edits, when all the chapters are complete, you're going to generate images. You're going to preview the book inside of the Bookmasher and select the best images. So if you use our image tool, you can get 4 different images and you can just flip between the 4 on every section to see which one you like better. Okay. Once you're done, the final is you want to send it to a docx to make all your final edits. Now, most people find it easier to edit than stare at a blank screen and start from scratch. I'm the same way. I would rather have too much information in a book and cut out sections just by deleting them or rewriting sections or completely eliminating an entire section. So think in terms, we want to give you more than you need. And yes, there may be stuff in there that I don't want restaurants associated with the Riverwalk in San Antonio, as an example. Or maybe you want to tune in the restaurants to be on the Riverwalk itself. So this is not a perfect travel guide, and we're never going to intend on for you to be able to print it to docx and go straight into Amazon Kindle. We want you to put eyeballs on your travel guides. We want you to put eyeballs on the cookbooks. Cookbooks are a different formula, though, because the recipes have been passed down through time and they're all over the internet. And the LLM models, the original AI models, were trained on completely different than not training on travel guides. So it's fun to make both of these, but you're going to see a little bit of difference in the format and workflow that we do. Okay. Wayne, any questions up to this point?
There was one about Publisher Rocket. Yeah. Do you use that for research or formatting?
Publisher Rocket is research. Okay. It's really, it used to be called KDP Rocket. Now it's Publisher Rocket. So I'm going to, you didn't get, I think this is really important here is why are we self-employed entrepreneurs? Why are we agencies? We got into this business to have flex time so that we could take more vacations. So we don't have to spend it in the office, but sitting in this weekend course that I went to, I find that most entrepreneurs work more than 40 hours a week, but it may not be the 40 hours through 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So it's interesting is what we got into this genre to do is to have more free time and to make money and be flexible with how we manage our time. But we still work a lot of hours. In fact, I think we work harder than somebody with JOB. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go into the demo time. Now, I'm going to start off with some ideas. And I've kind of had to pre-make some of these books ahead of time because it does take time to generate the outlines and actually writing the chapters. Okay. So this is Publisher Rocket. I went into, this is what it looks like. Go into keyword search. I've got a couple tabs open and we're going to do I've got a Texas travel book and I've got a Colorado travel book I'm working on. Somebody want to give me a brand new title, brand new state, and we're going to build your book or start. I've got.
Don't be shy, everyone.
First one in. Okay, I got Florida. Arizona. Arizona is a good one. That's where I was at this weekend. Beautiful, beautiful weather, but I missed the eclipse. That's the only thing. Okay, I'm going to just type in Arizona travel. I want to be broad on this. Okay, so it's going to give me some keywords that people use to describe their books, describe what's in the books, their products. It kind of crosses over with Amazon products along with the keywords. So Arizona travel, I'm going to do more research on that. Arizona travel guide, Arizona travel books, okay, Arizona travel journal. Now, let's see. That's travel guide. I'll do this. Okay, now this is what publisher came back with on this. The competitive score, 0 to 100. 2 is very low competitive score. Estimated Amazon searches per month, 257. Less than 100, less than 100, less than 100. Okay. Average monthly earnings. Now, this isn't everybody that publishes a book. This is if you're in the top books that rank for this keyword. So if you're in the top 5, this is kind of an average book earner. If you're the number 1, you're probably going to be 10 times this, 250 a month. If you're the bottom 5 and the top 5, you're probably going to be at 20 to 25. Okay. So if you're a number 1 bookseller in a category or on a keyword, you're going to make, from what Publisher Rocket has told me, at least 10 times over this. Okay. So you can make some money if you're kind of in this price range. Now, this is a 554-page book. There's over 1,000 competitors. Even though it has a low competitive score, I'm gonna kind of skip this, okay? But I want you to. I've noticed something over Texas, Colorado, and Arizona. Low competitive score. It's got low searches. Here's the average monthly earnings. Remember, this is the top 5, and average price 254 pages. Number of competitors, 68. It is easier to be in the top 5 if you only have 68 competitors than be in the top 5 if you have over 1,000 competitors. Okay. So I've noticed this on the other ones. Arizona Travel Journal. Over here, Colorado Travel. Same up here, over 1,000. 57. Now this is 18 here, but it is Travel Journal. See how that got just kind of stuck out here? Travel Colorado, I'm going to avoid the ones that are really competitive or have a lot of authors in that, okay? So travel journal is it's an interesting topic. How do you make travel journals? Okay. And let's look at Texas. Texas Travel Journal. Number of competitors, 7. Average monthly earnings, not very good, okay? Low competition. Here's one at 13, Texas Travel Essentials, Texas Travel and Tourism. So you can kind of see this is how I do my research on books, okay? Now, the beauty about this is whenever you go, let's go Arizona Travel, we're looking at travel journal. What's the difference between a travel guide and a travel journal? Not much. except for a place to write. Okay. A journal lets you write. So if you could take your book that we make for you and you make it a travel guide, but then you turn it into a journal just by putting about 20 lines under each feature or each event so that they can make notes. I've got a friend of mine that is all he's doing is journals. It is just a bunch of blank pages. It's got a good cover and it's themed around different niches and different hobbies. And he's got some watermarks on the blank pages, but it literally is a blank page journal. And he's making a couple $100 a month with it. I was like, I was blown away. I mean, you're selling blank pages. So think in terms of if you had a 100-page book and you put a bunch of lines in there, try it out. It does. You're going to get this. If you got AIMasher, you're pretty much getting this for free. Okay. So try out different ideas. So Arizona Travel Journal. That's something good to start with. Okay. So I'm going to go over and bring in AIMasher. Wayne, can you see AIMasher?
Yep.
Okay. I'll let you answer questions. And guys, if there's a question that Wayne feels like it is worth interrupting, we'll slow down and answer it. But we're going to try to save most of the questions for the end because we got a lot of things to cover today. Okay. So we're looking at AIMasher. This is the book masher. We're going to be adding more books in here. Right now we have the cookbook maker, we have the travel guide, and that one I don't think is open yet to the public, but this is the next one. So we're going to look at travel guides. Okay. So what I've done is I've been working on my Texas. And I found this is a pretty good way to research top 25 tourist spots in Texas. Now, you could change the title, you could do anything that you want once you get in it over to a Word doc. So we're going to take a look at a completed document. I think this is fully completed. So when you start this, you'll choose your model. Anthropic folks will make better books than OpenAI at this point. It could change in 2 weeks. It could change, at the end of the month. Who knows? But in all our research, everything that we're doing, Claude is a better long form writer than OpenAI is using the top models. Now, 4 Turbo has come out, but it's really just a relabeling of the preview model. I think even Matt said it just had vision was the only difference. But by Monday or Tuesday, we'll have the 4 Turbo model in there as well. So you test it. That's the best way to ask the question before asking the question is test it. Okay. So we got Anthropic. We choose travel book under that. And then we're going to choose the model. You only get one choice, Opus. All the other Claude models can't keep up. It's too long form content. A language, we're going to be confident, informative. And we found these work pretty well. I mean, you could change them, test it. That's the biggest thing. Avoid common AI words. We're going to do our best to avoid those. Okay. So this was the book prompt. I want the top 25 tourist spots in Texas, thinking that, hey, maybe I could turn this into a Texas travel journal, but I put the tourist destination, I give them room to write their journal underneath that destination. Okay. So to do this, I put in here top 25. I pasted it into this box. We have a little special button and it's in beta right now. Where you can click this and it will run Perplexity and go out and find what everybody else is saying are the top 25 tourist spots in Texas. Okay. That's one way of doing it. You can copy it and you could pull over chat if you want to build your resource. So I'm going to bring in chat and I'll let chat tell me. And so we just sit here and kind of wait for it to cook. San Antonio Riverwalk, here we go. So it's pretty consistent with what Perplexity brought back. In fact, if you're from Texas, you probably recognize a lot of these spots. Okay. So if you don't want to use the Perplexity, you could certainly use chat or anything else to kind of, when we create a book outline, we're going to take this under advice. Okay. You could put in a lot of other things, and travel guides is probably the easiest one to do, is just put in a list of places to visit in a state or in a country. So you could copy this. The way I copy is just do this, just highlight it and copy that up there. Copy, and then you could drop into this resource text. Every time we go out to the section and we start building chapters, sections within the chapters, we're going to refer to this text. And down the road, this is like a common body of knowledge. So you could change it up to be whatever you want. If you want to focus it around a lot of the events around around San Antonio, certainly you can change it right here. This is what drives the book. Okay. What we're doing at the end of each chapter, and it should be at the end of each section, give me 3 restaurants to visit in the area. Give a brief description of their specialty, address, phone, and website. This is to put things at the bottom of each section. Just, you could do restaurants, movie theaters, event venues, whatever you want. Okay. You don't have to have anything at all here if you don't want. Now, you are an expert. We always finish it with expert. So you don't want to put Texas travel consulting expert, because we're going to finish it with expert. So be expert. So Texas travel consultant expert. I want to do 50 pages. And now we have a general knowledge. How much detail do you want to put in about the Alamo, San Antonio Riverwalk? Do you want it to go, if you're moving to general knowledge up here, it's going to be more generic. If you're moving to high detail, you're going to get more specifics, like things to see. Excuse me one sec. Okay, sorry about that. Then once you're done, and I'm testing about right here, 3 to 4. Once you're done, hit update, and when you're ready to start cranking, this is the magic button, make book active. Once that's turned on, it will start generating your content. So this book is already built. I've already got images. So what you'll see is we're going to generate a title for you, which you can change, at any time. And we're going to develop this long form outline based on what you gave us. And if you don't give us anything in the resource text, that's fine. We're going to use our Claude LLM or OpenAI's LLM to write your book outline. So don't think that you have to have a book outline or a resource text in there. Okay. Greg said sell spots for businesses and restaurants. Absolutely. That's and you don't have to force it in here. You can always pick it up in your final edits in Word. Okay. Now we have the chapter, we have an introduction, and we got images. We make an image prompt for you. So let's take a look at what it looks like. This is a finished book. I'm going to put the images below H3 and hit preview all. This is what we're going to be sending over to your Word doc. There's the outline. And I'll show you in a second is if you want to add more in here or change the focus of this, you can edit it before you start writing chapter. Okay. Here's the introduction, the lure of Texas. Now, this doesn't have an image switcher. And the reason is I went to Dolly 3 and made this image. In fact, I think all these are Dolly 3s. Yeah, all these are Dolly. If you see an image switcher, it's part of an AIMasher image model. But this one, I wanted some really good images. And these are pretty decent. San Antonio, here's the Riverwalk. If you're familiar with Texas, you know what that is. Of course, you don't see the banditos and the Mexican army in there. Riverwalk again. Very, very good images. We're talking about Dallas, School Book Depository. And this is Arboretum. So very, very good images. And we talk about the Discovering Dallas Arboretum. And it looks like it's thin content, but this is a small font and wide screen. This is going to fill out about 100 pages. Okay. Now, if you'll notice, if you're familiar with Dallas, and in fact, the Arboretum area, okay, the restaurants, the lot, it's on East Grand. It's within like 3 miles of the Arboretum. Garden Cafe is next. It's actually within the Arboretum. And White Rock Lake Market, it's about a mile away. So it's doing a pretty decent job of getting your restaurants around there. This is the Hidden Gems, a little bit about the West End. And this is kind of like the lower East Dallas, the Bishop Arts District. So you got Pecan Lodge. I mean, so the restaurants are really fitting into the actual section of your travel guide. Okay. So this one is ready to go. I'm going to just hit escape. I'm out of the preview mode. And Wayne, where's our button to send it to DocX, or is it there yet?
Monday.
Monday. Okay.
We very nearly got it. We very nearly got it in, but it just wasn't quite right. We ran out of time. So early Monday it should be live.
Yeah.
But you can copy that all from the preview and take it to somewhere if you want.
Yeah, if you do preview all, you can do a Control A, Control C, and then put it into a Google Doc.
Yeah.
Let's just do that. Is that right, Wayne?
Yep. It'll just take a little while to flush all the images in.
No.
No, you must have done Control A on everything rather than just the preview.
Oh, that's it. Let's try that again. Okay.
Just click in the preview somewhere and then do Control A.
It's still copying this over here.
Shade it. You'll have to shade it in then and whiz to the bottom with your mouse.
Yeah. Highlight it like that. And Control C. Now let's go over here. Oh, yeah. So it takes a little while to bring over all the images. But now you're set up. You're ready to go. This looks really nice. This is Cadillac Ranch here. Now, it doesn't look exactly like that, but there are some old Cadillacs in there. But this is also a placeholder for you. So if you decided, hey, I think I'd rather have Mid-Journey images, well, we got you set up. If you want these image prompts, you can, where is the Get Live? Export image prompts to text. Let's pull this up and I'll just pull this over. So it gives you the section and then it gives you the image prompt. So you could just put in this to Mid-Journey with a /imagine. Okay. And play around with it here. So we're giving you kind of a step ahead to do Mid-Journeys if you want to replace them with Mid-Journeys. Okay. So this is really how easy it is. So we're going to finish off here. And I'm going to do Arizona travel. And let's do add. Now I'm going to say top 25. Just as a travel spots in Arizona. Now it's going to give you a suggested book title. But this is kind of the main topic. I'm going to pop it here, top 25 travel spots in Arizona. Make them leave that prompt there. But I'm going to do something different here. Hidden gems. Now I'm going to run Perplexity. So take a few minutes to do this. But what I've found is Perplexity is good about 25 or 30 and below. But this looks pretty good. So Scott Rogers is on the call. I'm trying to find stuff that is kind of out off the beaten path. Now they gave me 14 here. Okay. So that's okay. Let's just save this to a notepad. This is exactly how I would do it. Is I'm going to save it to a notepad because we clear the notepad. And now I'm going to go in here back into AIMasher and let's do this top 25 spots in Arizona that get the most traffic. Okay. Now I'm going to run with Perplexity. So if you remember, I just did I got 14 of them in here that are kind of off the beaten path. Well, of course, Grand Canyon is going to be there. Antelope Canyon, Sedona, 25 there. Okay. These look pretty good. And if I go back to my notepad, let's put in here these. So back to here, also include these.
Does any of them duplicate?
I'm going to let AI figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I'm going to take, I'm going to take off the numbering there. Okay. And eliminate that. Now this is my resource text. So top travel spots in Arizona and hidden that have never heard of. Okay. So that's the prompt. And then this is the text. You notice this is not a detailed prompt, and please don't put prompt tags or anything like that in there. Just make a basic description right in here. Okay. Yes, we do all the prompt tagging already in our prompts. Special instructions. Give me 3 restaurants each city. Okay. You are an expert blogger. Expert. Number of pages. Now, to keep it short, well, it's okay. We'll go ahead and do 100 because we won't see the entire book. The entire book could take up to an hour, and we're not going to sit here and just watch this generate. Okay, so I got 100. I'm going to push it all the way over here. Let's go high detail, see what it looks like. Make the book active, and let's go ahead and hit update. Now, the first thing it's going to do is going to give me a title, and then it's going to build the outline. The outline is the true core of the book. And then once you're happy with that, then you will hit build. I think there's, what's the prompt called? Build chapters.
Sorry, what was you saying?
Okay, we'll get a prompt in just a second.
There'll be a button in a minute that asks you to continue if you're happy.
Okay. Now, if you don't really want to start editing this at this point, but you can if you need to. You could highlight it and say edit, and it's going to show up down here. Okay. A journey beyond the Grand Canyon to the hidden gems of the Copper State. That actually sounds good. I'm not going to change the thing there. Just hit cancel. And let's hit refresh. Okay. There we go. That should be done, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay to continue. This will resolve the prompts. Oh, okay to continue is your green button. But let's take a look at the chapters first. Title, Beyond the Canyons. That's a good subtitle. Introduction, Understanding Arizona, the Grand Icons. So it grouped the travel destinations together. It didn't specifically use everything in that book and in the resource text in that order. It used AI to kind of group them together. Beyond the Postcard, Petrified Forests, Oregon Pipe Cactus, Urban Escapes and Historical Haunts. That's pretty good. Tucson, Phoenix, The Secrets of the Unknown, Natural Wonders, Art, Experiencing Arizona Like the Locals. Okay. So this is pretty decent. There's a conclusion and appendix, index, acknowledgement about the author. Now, we don't necessarily use all this because we want to get the main context is your chapters. Okay. You really want to do your own about the author part in there. Okay. But this is a good way to start right here. Now, when you're ready to start,
it will write it for you though, unless you edit it and take it out.
that's right. So if I highlight it right here, I go in and hit edit, come down here, and here is your editor. It is plain text editor. So if you want to put in something here or you want to change one of them out, this would be the time to do it. Okay. And then you would hit update. Okay. So I'm going to hit OK to continue. I hit OK. And we're off. That's all it takes to write this book. Now, with me talking and everything, it took a little bit longer. But let's go back into Bookmasher and let's look at some of the other fun stuff. So this is the one that I was working on last night. And you can see it's building chapters. I'm even using OpenAI on this. That's okay. I should have used Anthropic. So I'm going to hit edit. Top 25 tourist spots. Come down here. Images are in there. This one's ready to review and download. So I'm going to hit down here. Put all the images below. And I'm going to preview all. So there's the titles, chapters, introduction. Didn't we just looked at this one, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not the one I wanted to look at. I wanted to show you how you can switch images.
Incidentally, everyone, the Perplexity API, we won't be letting you put your own API key in just yet, because there's a lot of other things we need to test. But that button that Damon's showing you, we're allowing you to use our API to do that for you. So you'll still be able to press that button and use it, and we'll pick up the cost for that for you. It won't be like that forever, but for now, we're doing that for you.
Yep. So let's come down here and take a preview of this one. And preview all. Okay. So this is an introduction. This was the top 10 top 10 must-do experiences in Lone Star State. Okay. And this was supposed to be like the big city. So I have in here, and this is where OpenAI kind of got a little goofy with me. Okay. It just didn't build out the outline like we really wanted it to. It did Austin pretty good. It did Dallas. Okay. I mean, it's okay. But here's what it did on Houston and San Antonio. And then it jumped to 5 here on Fort Worth, Lubbock, and El Paso. Okay. But I wanted to show you this because this is our AIMasher images using the stable diffusion. Is that the right word? We're using one of the models in there.
High fidelity is the one that we've been using.
High fidelity. Okay. But you could switch these images out. You got 4 in here you could choose from. That's a beautiful image, but it doesn't look like. That's pretty good. That's a good one there too. Okay. Famous restaurants. Now this is the introduction. So, do you want to start bringing in restaurants at this point? If you don't, you would just delete that part when you get it to your editor. Culture history across its major cities. And, we were having fun just yesterday looking at all the different images. So all these, you get 4 for every section. And they set, you want to make sure that you give it a folder to save it to. Okay. Now let's get into Austin. This is Barton Springs. This looks pretty good. This is if you're familiar with Barton Springs, it does have 2 big pools like that. This is more indicative of what Barton Springs kind of looks like. Now, this is the Capitol, and it's kind of pink. It's pink granite is what they made it from. But you see it's more pink up here. I mean, and it's got 2 flags over here. So it's not going to be perfect right now, but as fast as AI is changing, we think our stable diffusion, our model lab, things that we're using here, we think in a couple months, they're going to be as good as Midjourney 6 is right now. And you'll have 4 to switch back and forth from. Let's go with 1. And that looks pretty decent. Okay. Kayakers, that's cool. South Congress, that's close. I mean, the cars are not kind of updated, but this is why I like this. It is not an actual photograph. It is a drawing or a illustration or a graphic. So people know to kind of give it a little leeway is this is not a photograph. This is a depiction. So anyway, this looks pretty good. This is University of Texas. If you want different campus looks, that looks pretty good. Now we save these automatically whenever you switch them around. And so this preview is pretty good to go. This is Rainy Street, and this is the Bats on Congress Avenue. Pretty decent. Okay. So the problem is it didn't fully flesh out San Antonio and Houston in there. But that's why you can run this as many times as you want. You're using your OpenAI or your Anthropic. I encourage you, get Anthropic API and go and fund it to write your books. You could use OpenAI for everything else. It's just, we have just found it's not as complete on long forms. That's all I'll say on it. Anything else on this book here? Okay. I want to show you kind of how we've gone over how to do a little bit of research, find a topic, And what I would start with, this is find a state or a country that you're very familiar with, okay? And then build a book about it. Narrow it down to states, and then narrow it down to cities, okay? And if you'll remember, we talked about journals. So you could come in here and at the end of restaurants, let's go Cadillac Ranch. This is a section right here. Okay. And did you visit or when did you visit? And give them some room to write. Okay. And I would just make this more lines here. So I'm converting this into a journal. See how easy this is to convert this into a journal. And you could ask some interesting questions like, when did you visit? What did you like most? Who were you with? What was the weather like? Get them to write things down as something that you would find in a journal. If you don't have any ideas about what to write in a journal, go back to our publisher, Rocket here. I showed you. And Arizona travel journals. I'm going to go over here to this little button over here. There's the bucket list. Here's some Arizona bucket list, birds of Arizona. So these are some things that, people are interested in. Birds of Arizona, hiking with kids. So if you want topic ideas, this right here, Arizona hiking with kids, that's a great topic. 50 hiking adventures for families. That is over 3 years old, 128 pages. Monthly sales, he only has, they're estimating $2 in monthly sales. But this one here is Arizona bucket list. You can build your own bucket list. Birds of Arizona. Timepiece. Oh, that's something else. So when you're building these books, think in terms of series. You're not, unless you're a very prolific writer that loves to write, you're probably not going to make a lot of money on 1 or 2 books. But what if you had a series for all the major cities in Arizona, all the major cities in Texas? But series are, Scott says, yes, series plus, 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 plus. So you could be specialized in Arizona hiking, Texas hiking, Colorado hiking, and start focusing on a niche within a niche and then build a series from it. Because once you have a audience with the first book or the first few books, they're going to pick up the rest of the books. I read a lot on Kindle, and so there's like 4 or 5 authors that I follow. So every time a new one comes up, I'm always picking up that book, leaving a review. So you can grow your list exponentially just by having a series about your books. Again, this is not how to monetize Kindle. I had to warn you, I'm not the greatest. I've set in on probably 100 hours of people telling me how to sell books over the time, and these are just notes that I've taken. Okay. Wayne, any questions?
Walt says, do we need our own APIs to the various tools, or do we use yours? If you are a beta or an agency user, Anthropic is now open for you to put your API in. I've already mentioned Perplexity. That won't be live just yet because there's more prompt testing to do, but that button obviously is live for you, and we'll pick up the cost for that for you to use that in the books.
Yep.
And the book will be active after this call for you to do travel.
Yep. And we try not to give you the book before we show you how to use it, because then we don't want you playing as you're trying to listen to us here. So we wanted to give you the ideas. Here's how you can make the book, and then we'll turn it on after the course. Okay. Wayne, we ready to move on to the next goodie?
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all ready to see something else?
I can show you some of my books if they want.
No, let's stick with, we're going to cover a lot. So when I pass the screen over to you, maybe you could do that. So Bookmaster, DIY books is not yet available. Okay. It is a DIY book. Scott Rogers, this is for you. Woodworking for beginners. Replacing lawns in Texas. This is something I know a little bit about. I've done a few of them. And this weekend, I met several people that were they were SEO people, and they kept bees. They were beekeepers. I find beekeeping extremely interesting, but I have no desire to do it. But I have a website, Beekeeping for Beginners, that's getting a little bit of traffic. And I'm about to set up a social site for it. I even have a site on model trains. So I'm going to write a book about model trains. I love model trains. I just don't have the patience to build them. But I've got a very active Facebook group that's kind of self-administering or self-posting for model train enthusiasts. So I'm picking up some little not generic, very niche specific domains that they're expired, but I don't get tagged with the Google spam update. I don't switch an expired domain from like weddings to gambling. I bought expired domain for beekeeping because I wanted to do a beekeeping site. So Google is seeing it as, hey, you're a beekeeper. Okay. How do I get to be a beekeeper? I write a book about beekeeping. And I'm not necessarily the author of those posts in the beekeeping category. So I put my minion, we've had a sale on minion builders, guys. This is all leading up to tools. We use our tools and we offer them out to you. So in minion builders, I have one of my authors one of my blog post authors is about to get a book about beekeeping called The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Beekeeping. Okay. So we started out with, let's just go into this one. This is waiting for a prompt. This is very similar to what you just saw on travel guides. Okay. I put in here, I went to chat and said, I want a beekeeping, give me a title for a beekeeping book, Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Beekeeping. I love this title. From hive setup to honey harvest. Okay. I didn't even think that's the complete workflow for a beekeeper. And this is everything that you need to know about bookkeeping. Okay. So I chose DIY. I'm in the DIY section. I'm going to use Anthropic. I don't even think we've got OpenAI set up for it. Let's see.
Yeah, it is. But Anthropic is better.
Yeah, this is going to get you a better book. This is the top model. And so you don't even have a choice here. If they have better ones coming out, we're going to give you those choices. But this is the most current Claude. English, confident, informative. Again, you can change any of these: authoritative, confident, empathetic, formal. Let's just leave it like that. Okay. Then I went to Claude and I said, give me just a book prompt about, this title. I copied this exactly, didn't change a single word. Okay. And then I came down here and said, based on the search results, here's cover. So I started with, give me a book outline on that. That's what I put in this resource text. Okay. And then I came down here and hit run with Perplexity. And it built a starting outline for me. Okay. Good topics and everything to start looking at it. Now, AI is going to take over. At the end of each section, list some important facts to support the content in that section. I don't need restaurants here. They're not travel. This is beekeeping. They want to know, do I get stung with bees? How many bees do I need? How much am I going to make? Are my neighbors going to complain about the bees? All the typical questions, but you want different questions for each section. So if you're choosing a hive location, you would have different questions than if you're winterizing the hive, okay, or harvesting the honey. Totally different set of questions. So that's what we're asking. Professional beekeeper, and then just remember, we're going to put the word expert. Okay, number of pages, 100. Here's where I'm at on the slider. Again, test this. This is your variation of what content you're going to get. Okay, hit update, make active, and it created the title and the book outline. So let's take a look at it. So y'all are seeing this for the first time. I'm seeing it also for the first time. Okay, Ultimate Beginner's Guide. Here's the comprehensive book outline. So understanding honeybees and behavior, getting started, selecting the right location. That's very important. Choosing and setting up your beehive, acquiring, managing your beehive. Now, if you'll notice, it has a lot more sections because AI has looked at what we gave it and said, you need more detail. So it came back and gave us more detail. This is the reason why we use AI instead of just cut, copy, paste type deal. Same for hive inspection and disease management, harvesting and processing, expanding your beekeeping knowledge and skills. Okay, so this looks pretty decent. I don't think I'm even going to edit it. So if I come over here and hit escape, if I did want to edit, I'd come down here, just like we did on Travel Guide, hit edit, and we have a plain text editor down here that you can play with. Okay. So let's say that I come down here to 7 and go, okay, spring management, summer management. Ooh, okay. So it kind of broke it down by seasons. That's interesting. I wouldn't have even thought about that. Hive inspections, identifying and managing common honeybee pest. Do anybody know what these are? I have no idea what these are. I wouldn't have been able to even complete my book because I didn't know what those are. Diagnosing and treating honeybee diseases. Okay. That's interesting. So I'm going to get a set of interesting facts down here underneath this section. So this is a full detailed book. Okay. So I am done with that. I'm just going to come down here and say update. And now I'm ready to hit the green button and start writing my book. Are you sure? Okay. So it will take about an hour to build this book out. It's going to be about 100 pages. I am using Anthropic on this one. And I think I'm going to get a pretty decent book out of this. So I'm going to hit finish. Now let's go take a look at woodworking for beginners. And if you'll notice, image status, we have no images on this one yet. This one we do, replacing lawns in Texas. Let's take a look at that first. Okay. So I used Anthropic, replacing lawns in Texas. Guys, I didn't think too much about this. I put in here my prompt tips for replacing lawns in Texas. I've done 4 lawns in my lifetime. I think I know a little bit about the Bermuda and St. Augustine and Tiff, and I don't want to do it again. So I'll share my knowledge, or better yet, I'll let AI share my knowledge, and then I'll go in and edit the book. So it's easier to edit books that you know a little bit about. Okay, so that Perplexity built that for me. Then I went down here. I didn't put any special instructions, and then I ran it. Okay, so there's Taming Texas Turf, a homeowner's guide to replacing your lawn in the Lone Star State. This is pretty good. Okay, title: Transforming Your Texas Lawn, DIY guides, and then it starts building. Okay, so let's take a look at it. We're going to come down here. I think I used, let's see what image model. I think I used the AI. Yeah, I used AIMasher there. Okay, so we're going to preview all. Title, outline, benefits of replacing your lawn with native plants. That is a beautiful image. That's even better. And got some bluebonnets there. So this, okay, water conservation. It looked like that image kind of repeated. Now, once you save this off to your DocX or your Google Docs, if you don't want an image at that point, just delete it. Oh, that is a beautiful on there. Reduce maintenance. Okay. So you could tell these are great. Excuse me. That's not a good one for lawns, so I'm going to try something different here. Okay. That's not too bad. So I'm kind of just looking through this, assessing your lawn and planting. Okay. Conducting a soil test. Send it to Texas A&M Agriculture. They'll give you a complete soil test, and determining sun exposure. These are pretty decent little images. Designing your new landscape. Nice. That. Okay. Creating a plan that ensures I mean, you got some beautiful images in here. And again, you could do the same as on the travel guide. If you don't like these images, you can replace them in your Google Docs. You can select that image, and you can replace any of these images with Claude. And I'll show you how to do this. So anyway, we'll keep on going down just a little bit further. There's some bluebonnets, hydrangeas, oak tree, it looks like. Okay. Methods of removing or killing your existing lawn. Looks like he's doing something there. I don't know if that's the best image. So again, you're just choose the best image. He's fogging that one. I don't know. That one looks kind of scary too. Okay, that one's probably better. So once you're done, hit escape and you're ready to update and go. But if, for instance, you wanted to replace that image right there, I'm going to highlight it. Come down here and go Dolly 3. And let's make this photo realistic. Add AI models. I'm going to do Texas. I think I have one. Yeah. No, I have one for lawn. AI lawn replacement. Resolve all image or resolve select. This is the most important part right here in replacing images. If you click that button, it's going to change all your AIMasher graphic engines to Dolly 3s. This is 8 cents a piece. So pay attention. Don't click that button unless you want all images replaced. Because if you have 100 images and you just did that, that's $8. So I just want that one image. I'm going to generate my 8 cents right there. In fact, Wayne, we might want to.
We've already protected. If the image is already there and you click resolve all images, it won't do it.
Okay.
But if you do specific ones, it will.
Okay. That's perfect. That's perfect then. Okay. So that will take it deletes the image. It starts over. It's using the image prompt to do your Claude 3 or your Dolly 3s images in there. Okay.
Yeah, Claude hasn't got image.
Okay. Now, what can you do? You're done with your book. Let's say you're done with your book. You can export, you can preview all, and we're going to have a button here to export to docx. So you can either copy, preview all, and then highlight it, copy it, and put it in a Google Doc like I just showed you up here. Okay. Or we'll have a button probably by Monday that will do import to docx. Same thing, same as cookbooks. But let's think through this. What if I had a travel site dedicated to Texas travel and I want to add some content in there, or I'd say Texas travel. This one is about landscape. So I have 1-800-TREE Guide. That's an expired domain, and I want a category in my blog post about replacing lawns. Okay, I can send this article. Send to my articles the selected. Don't we have one that will send the whole thing at once?
No.
Okay. So select the ones that you want. I want to send that one, uncheck that one, and that one. Okay. I want to send these over to a WordPress site. So I'm going to send to my articles the ones that are selected. Okay. Now I come over here to my articles, and you could do this with travel guides. You could do it with cookbooks. And we love doing this with cookbooks. If we have a cooking site, we're going to put cooking recipes in our cooking site. So I'm going to come back over here to Article Publisher. Everybody has access to this. You go to my articles. I got 4 articles that we just put in here. Determining sun exposure. If I wanted to look at that, okay, there's the image. There's the content. This is a blog post. Ready to go. Determining sun exposure throughout the day. So if I wanted to change images at this point, it's pretty neat. I like that one best. Okay. The AIMasher images. Now, while I'm in here, I want to show you I hope this is going to be the most, we've got a lot of surprises, but I'm going to show you what the big surprise is on here. When Wayne and I started building AIMasher, our goal was to make AI content better and to repurpose the AI content and regurgitate or re-syndicate the content. What we were seeing a year ago when we first started this was GPT-3 and 3.5. And I still think it's just fluff. But in the fluff, if you had the right prompt, you could make it look a little bit more decent. You can make it more readable if you had an editor in place before it hits WordPress. Because once it hits WordPress, if you're properly indexed and you're doing everything right for SEO, Google's going to start crawling or we'll soon crawl that site. Well, we all get busy and we may put it there and go, okay, I'm going to go back and edit those posts before Google sees it. Well, you'll do this a couple of times and then you'll get busy and you won't do it again and I won't do it again. However, if you had to edit them before you posted, or if you had a chance to say, okay, I know intentionally I don't want to edit this, I just want to send it over, but I want to put a voiceover or I want to put an image, a new image in there with it. That's where we wanted to do in content publishing model. So Zimwriter came out and we thought, oh, this is absolutely perfect to do enhancement on the bulk writer. And we still use it. I mean, my VA is using it all the time. But what if our problem was the editor wasn't keeping up with everything else? So we have just given you a brand new editor. Okay. This is an AI content editor. You'll notice here's your buttons. When you click on this, it chooses the entire thing. If I come up here and I want to simplify that box, okay, it's important. That's great. Start by dividing. If I want to move that sentence, I can move it right there. I'm going to move that back. Okay. Now, if I wanted, let's see, it's essential to observe. I don't like it's essential. That's still fluffy words in there. So I want to improve it. And you can change the tone. You can even translate it if you want to. This is going to be using your OpenAI, and it's very low cost to do stuff like this. To gain a robust understanding, okay, that's still fluffy. Let's just simplify it. Okay. Now, if I wanted to, I could come in here and go, let's just put that there. And this is important. The sun's position changes over the year, being higher in the sky in summer and lower in winter. Okay, that's pretty good. Oh, but let's make it a quote. I'm going to go in here, make it a quote. Okay. And Damon Nelson said this. So I've got a quote box that's going to be published. Okay. We had this AI Max. This was a temporary measure. I'd say get rid of your AI Max. Okay. You can use it in other things, but you don't need it in here. It just overlaps. We still have Grammarly. Grammarly is still attached in here, but you can do a lot of different things with this. But let me show you something exciting. Okay. We talked about Texas sage in sections with partial shade. Consider plants. Let's simplify it first. Partially shaded areas, plant types like tropical sage. Okay. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to prompt. Let's give it a photorealistic landscape and let's go ahead and hit send. So we're going to build a OpenAI. Now this is going to use your DALL-E 3 and it's going to build an image to go right in here. Tropical sage. That's not too bad. I can, if I insert it, it takes away the prompt that was created, but it leaves you a beautiful image in its place. Okay. So if you're ready, you can come down here and go open account. I'm going to do a summary prompt and let's do Amazon. Let's do a create summary. I kind of like using this Amazon review. It seems to be a little bit better summary for voiceover. Summary article. I want it above the first subheading and let's put in OpenAI and let's do echo and we'll create the audio. Now I could add more images in there if I wanted. Let's take a look. Where did the appear?
If you're planning to redo your lawn in Texas, it's important to understand how much sun your yard gets.
Okay. So this is what we consider enhanced publishing. The ability to take an article, to use AI to tune it up or to write it yourself, to put, you can do bolding, you can do italics, you can, put quotes in there. You could do strike throughs. Here's some more formatting, underlining, superscript, subscripts. You can highlight. You can put a table in here. I don't know what that one is. Oh, headings, anything that you want to do. You have expert tools that you can do anything you want with a post before you publish it, before Google even gets to see it. This is the important part. At the end of the day, is do you want Google seeing a bunch of bulk writing in there, or do you want to put a little bit of time and effort to kind of tweak them just a little bit? Now, they are getting better. I know Matt's bulk writer, his latest update on it is pretty good. But I still want to put an eyeball. I still want to put a couple more images in there. I don't use the images that ZimWriter creates. I prefer to use our images. And I'm going to be using a lot more of these inserted images in here as well. Okay. So this is the big deal. I think you're going to really enjoy this if you want the image above all that. What I just did. What if I want to just keep moving the audio down? Okay. That's how it's going to come across and be published. I've got quotes in there, and of course you can, always bold it. If you're in here, you can just Control B. I mean, this is a full-blown editor that you have here, and the ability to work on sections at a time with AI is just remarkable. So now I'm done. I've got an audio, I've got a featured image, I got everything I want in there, and I could even add helpful content. So if I have a landscaping company, maybe I have a listicle of things that you need to ask a landscaper. So I could put this at the bottom of this lawn care about choosing the best sunspot. So there's a lot of flexibility in here to get the article right before it's posted. Okay. Now, once you're done with all this, then
update.
Yes, you got to update, save, and you're done. Okay. Now you're ready to go over here, 1-800-TREE guy, and I want to put it in tree removal, interviews with expert tree health and maintenance. I need another category, but for now, I'll just do tree health and maintenance, choose an author, Logan Foster. Now, Logan would be the author of my landscaping book. I may put my name in there and put Logan as the co-author. Okay. And I'll give you a little advice. If you're ever doing co-authorship, please be the number one in the authors. Okay. Let the other person be the co-author. The reason is you get priority search for the book. I made this mistake almost 10 years ago. I was co-author on a book that we wrote, and I wrote most of it. And you can hardly find this book under my name at all. So it's really important that, keep in mind when you're building your minions, make them a secondary if you want to be primary on the authorship. Okay. So all I have to do is hit post. It will go under tree health and maintenance.
Have you selected an article?
Oh, probably need to do that, don't I? What was that? That's determining sun exposure. Let's try that. Tree health and maintenance and hit post. Okay, this takes a few minutes, about probably 20 seconds. Okay, so that was I until you start playing with it, it's really amazing what you can do with this AI editor. Okay, let's go into, I think.
Do you want another little tidbit that not even you know about?
What's that?
Refresh that to see if it's posted to the website.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if we go across and have a look. Okay, there it is.
That looks good. There's Logan Foster. So I want Logan to have a book right here. This is the author box. If for nothing else, it gives Google something to crawl and it shows an Amazon link back to his book that he's co-author on, or I may just leave him as author on that one particular book because we can make books so easy.
Let's say you forgot to add something to this article.
Okay.
But it's already been posted.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go back to AIMasher, if you edit that one that you've just posted and you make the change that you want to make, sometimes it's I forgot the voiceover, or I wanted to add another section, or I wanted to put a prompt in You can click the plus if you want, and you give it a prompt to write a bit more. But you'll notice
I'm going to change that to, I'll just put a quote there. Okay. Go ahead. Okay. Now what?
now, if you go down to the bottom, because it's now been posted after the update, there's a button there that's appeared.
Ooh.
So if you update that and save it, so click the update button next to it, doesn't matter. Make sure you click the update to save there. But if you go back to your original article and on WordPress and refresh it, that change that you did will be there.
Oh, wow. I see it. Oh, that's amazing. Where else could we use that button like that?
It's coming.
It's coming. Cool, cool, cool. We got some neat stuff there. Anything else before I hop out of AIMasher? Well, let's do this.
I think so.
I'll go over here. Demo time. Never go on trips with anyone you do not love. This is very true. Very true. Okay. So what's been added? This is AIMasher new features as of this week. We have Anthropic Claude 3 API added. So your Anthropic is the company and Claude 3 is the model. Okay. We had DIY books. They'll be available later this afternoon. We have travel guides later this afternoon. A full-blown AI HTML editor. Oh, I didn't even show you the keyword groups, but I did show you how to convert your book sections into posts. Again, this works on any of the books that we have, okay? Especially cookbooks. This is great for cookbooks. But let's go take it. There's one more thing I wanted to, keyword groups and AI search. Wayne had a great idea that, okay, we're in Media Mixer, go over here to keyword groups. Some people go, oh, this is an extra step to do media packs. It's not that bad anymore. So let's go into here. I'm going to do add, and let's just call it Arizona travel. I know nothing as far as keyword goes. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to give me 50 SEO keywords based on OpenAI, AI search, OpenAI. I'll do it fast. Well,
I've took it off because it wasn't. It didn't get it. It wasn't clever enough, basically.
Okay. So the name of the group is Arizona Travel, but I need to put in a keyword to execute with. So we're building based on AI, a group of keywords, 50 in this case. If you did 25, it's going to give you 25. Sedona Red Rock, Phoenix City attractions. Okay. 50 keywords related around Arizona travel. When you're happy, you go update. Now I'm going to go back in here. Go back in here and tourist destination, tourist hotels. Maybe we'll put the hotels in there. Okay. I hit execute. Now I'm going to build 50 of them with our SEO keywords. And if you'll notice down here, we put in 50 items. But if we repeat, it's not going to add the repeats in there. So I'm just going to hit update. We got 50 of them there. So let's go down. Yep. So we had 50 uniques coming in. So now we have 100 keywords centered around Arizona travel, Arizona hotels. Yeah, hit update or finish. Okay. Now, when you go into Media Mixer, you can build your media pack. And I'm going to build a media pack for the Arizona travel book. Okay. So come down here, add. And I'm just going to call it AI. So I know it's going to be AI generated from the AI model. So Arizona travel. I'll just do Arizona travel. Keyword group. Remember, we just did one. So Arizona, update. So now we have 100 keywords that's going to be used in the exit data when we save these images that we're building our book with. Very, very slick. You know, it's one of those little things that we're trying to get better. So we try to keep improving this so that you get better and better results. And I'll hit finish and we're done. Okay. So that's about all we have today. We did just barely touch on DIY books. I'm going to be making a lot of these travel guides. I have several travel sites, and each of those authors, those bloggers, need to have a travel guide. So you may want to make a 50-page book for your travel guide minion. And if you're doing it yourself, you may want a bigger book, 100 or 200-page book. I would recommend don't go over 200 pages. It maxes out your Anthropic and OpenAI. But the other thing is you probably don't want to edit a 200-page book to be, rapidly building these books up. Start with 50 to 100 pages. If you're going to make a journal, start with 50 and just add a bunch of blank lines in there. Okay, let's take any questions we have, and we'll end the call.
There's one thing to take note of. If you notice, particularly with OpenAI, it might stall writing. I noticed I was doing one, and it was about home DIY and improvements and cutting things with saws, and OpenAI's it said I can't write about this because it might be against the however they worded it, but basically they didn't want to write something that included using a saw. I mean, really, if you'd see that, you can just deactivate as soon as you make it not active anymore, it will stop writing, so that it won't carry on. You can let it carry on if you want, and it will carry on and build all the other chapters, but you may get some chapters. It's very rare, but I have noticed it not with Anthropic, but I have noticed it with OpenAI. If you're talking about, I don't know, using hammers or power tools, or it just decided that it was against its terms. Why? I do not know. But if you do come across that, you can let it carry on and it will write the rest, or you can make it deactive and it will stop writing. As soon as you untick that little tick and change the status of it, it will stop. Just a little note for you to be aware of.
Somebody asked about image size. We do 1280 by 720. That's what Dolly 3 cranks, the one that we use. Okay. And let's go back here. Questions. What else? Shorter books are getting more popular all the time. Absolutely. Guys, especially with Kindle Unlimited. How you get paid on Kindle Unlimited is the number of pages that they read. Okay, it's not the price on there. So there's a mathematical formula at the end of each month that say, we got 20 billion pages read, and we're going to pay you 0.0001 cent per page read. Well, that's everybody. So if you have 50 pages read, you get 50 times whatever their multiplier is for that particular set of categories and niches. So but there's certain things that don't do good for Kindle Unlimited. Coloring books, comic book, or coloring books, crossword puzzles, things that you have to actually write on. You don't want to do a Kindle Unlimited with it. But nonfiction books, something that they can hold in their hand or their phone and get a 50-page summary of things they need to look for. I feel like, and Wayne does too, and I know it's getting more popular, is Kindle Unlimited is free. I mean, it's a membership course with Amazon. It's not a course, but it's a membership, and you get 10 books in your library for free. So if I want to learn something real quick, I will put it in the library and read it, and then return it, and I'll get something else in there. So the habit of people reading books is that it's kind of like a library with the unlimited, but the more they read, that's why we want to put pictures into all our books, because pictures are what people are looking for. If you've got some interesting pictures, they're going to keep scrolling on Kindle Unlimited, and before long, they've scrolled all 50 pages. Whereas if you don't have any images and you're writing a nonfiction book, maybe you have a few illustrations. One is it's probably going to be boring without images, but secondly is they're going to find what they need and then exit. There won't be a full scroll just to look at images. So just a little trick there. Yeah. So printed books are good for your comics, your coloring, anything that you have to put a pencil or a pen to paper, or that you want to bookmark or tag. And travel guides are good. So doing a travel guide journal, me personally, I'm going to make them into paperbacks. Okay. Now, if it's a paperback, it doesn't matter about the images. In fact, the more color images you put in there, the less you're going to make on selling that travel book. So that's something to think about. Once they bought it and it's in their hand, they're going to read the section. They're going to, go to the table of contents, read the section, and then they'll start writing. If they're doing a journal, or they may bookmark or put pictures of things in there. So think through the medium, and would you use it as a ebook, or would you use it as a paperback, or do you need to go all the way to a hardcover? Okay. Let's see.
Scott says he's got a Mac. Can he export it to Pages rather than Word? The Word document that we export it to, Pages can read that in. So when we release that on Monday, you'll be able to open it with Mac, Pages, as well as Microsoft Word.
Yep, that's a good question.
Oh, Don says about what if he doesn't want to create the images? You don't have to create the images. It's a button at the end. So when the book's finished, you can decide whether to create the images by just selecting the engine and then clicking the button. If you don't want to do that, just don't click the button, and then you can export the prompts or make your own images.
Very good question. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to edit travel. It's completed. It has no images in there. So I'm going to hit preview all. Here, you'll notice there's no images, but this was OpenAI.
Oh, there you go. You've got it. I'm sorry, but I can't fulfill this request. But you see how it carried on and wrote the rest?
Yeah. So chapter, the grand icons. So there was some word in there in the prompt that it didn't like, but it kind of finished writing the book. So here's what I'm going to do preview all. So this one doesn't have images. Okay. So it looks like grand icons need to be rewritten beyond the postcard. I don't know what that was in there, but this is because of OpenAI's terms and service, and trying to be the best they can and police everybody. Secrets of the unknown, natural wonders. Okay. So,
I've not seen Claude 3 do this.
I haven't either. And we've been testing this with prompts and everything else. So we may, at some point in time, especially on the nonfiction books, if we go to a fiction writer, we're going to be adding probably another API in here that is like it will allow some of the words through that normally OpenAI would not allow through. It's suitable for, there's not suitable for workplace. What's it, NS or something like that. There are some APIs out there. They don't write as good as Anthropic does, but they don't have any limits on what you can write about. So if we go to fiction, we're definitely going to have some different AI writers. And I don't think we're going to go to fiction books at this, within the next 6 months. Our focus is building this nonfiction book masher with other book genres. So we're going to have a gardening, specifically gardening, and we're going to have models focused around gardening. And guys, we're going to do coloring books. Coloring books are big sellers on Amazon. One of the people I hope to bring in as speaker, she has one, she showed it called Cat Buttholes. And I can't believe Amazon lets it through. She did it as a joke, just testing things on Amazon. She's making $200 a month selling this paperback coloring book. And it's about cat buttholes. But she does something different. At the very end is you have 50 images in there. And she said, for $6 a month, you can get a vault of monthly coloring books, images that we put in there. So she's using not Dolly 3, but I can't remember what she was using. Some model lab builder that would give her 4 images at the same time, like we do. So she would save 3 of them, use 1 of them in the coloring book, and she was building the vault of coloring book images that she's charging people $6 a month to be a member of the coloring book vault. I don't know what she calls it, but there is a topic, there is a niche for everything out there. So that's why we're going to get into coloring books. We may do crossword puzzles or word finds or something like that. But we're going to be focused a lot on the Bookmasher side and taking our content engine. And we've got some models put in place that we haven't shared yet that is going to, you go into Keyword Masher as if you're going to build stuff for a bulk writer, but you kick the button over to Content Engine and we're going to build everything for you without you having to do anything else. But we don't want to put out fluff. And so we want to get our Content Engine tuned up right so it makes your content very readable. And sorry about that. So anyway, any other questions that we can answer? I think we've answered most of the questions.
I think we might have, yeah.
Yep. So guys, hope you have a good weekend. And we're very excited about what we've just shown you. And we can't wait to see some of your books. There are a couple people that have mentioned, what if we have a book review club? And I think it's a great idea. The only problem is Wayne and I have very little time to take on any new projects right now. I think it's a great idea. If somebody wants to take on that project, we will support it 100%. So, think through that. You'd have to build your own website. We're not going to build your website, but we will send you traffic of people buying books. So I think Tim Parker mentioned something about doing that, but whoever wants to do, and it could be a money-making thing for you. So, it's something to consider. That's the one thing that drives Amazon books is reviews and purchases. Of course, to do a paperback or to do a ebook, a Kindle book, you actually have to purchase it to do the review to get the priority review on there. Okay. So thanks again for joining us, and we're very excited about the future and hope y'all are too. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.